Hi, I'm Don Simmons, and today I want to talk about becoming oaks of righteousness. Did you know that most oak trees don't begin producing acorns until they're around 20 years old? And according to the University of California's Agricultural Bulletin, their peak production doesn't come until they're between 50 and 80 years old. I find that fascinating, especially when I read Isaiah 61. In that chapter, the prophet speaks of people transformed by God's Spirit. Those who were once broken, bound, or grieving, they're restored and renamed, and they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Isaiah 61:3. That image is powerful. These people are no longer weak or withered. They're deeply rooted, strong, fruitful, and enduring. Like oaks, they stand tall through the seasons, not for their own glory, but to display the beauty and faithfulness of God. Isaiah goes on to say that these oaks will rebuild ancient ruins, restore devastated places, and renew ruined cities. They're not passive, they're productive. Their righteousness expresses itself in action, reviving what's broken in the world around them. Now, think about how that connects to our own lives, especially how we view retirement and productivity. Our culture teaches that after 50 or 60, we deserve to slow down, relax, make life all about us, play golf, vacation, cruises, play pickleball. Well, there's nothing wrong with these activities per se. If our days are consumed with such activities, we're not living like mighty oaks. Isn't it interesting that oak trees, the symbol God chose for mature strength, do their best work between ages 50 and 80? That's the same range where many of us begin to check out. Why do we turn our minds off and step away from our calling just when we've gained the most wisdom and experience? Research shows that many people hit their most productive years after age 50. A 2018 Harvard Business Review study found that the average age of successful startup founders is 45. And Nobel laureates, CEOs, inventors, many achieve their greatest impact later in life. Even history tells the same story. Peter Drucker wrote his best work in his 90s. Ray Kroc started McDonald's at 52, and Ronald Reagan led his country in his 70s. So what about us, those called oaks of righteousness? Shouldn't our later years be our most fruitful for God's kingdom? The years when we're most seasoned, steady, wise? The very years we should be pouring ourselves out, proclaiming good news to the poor, healing the brokenhearted, freeing those held captive, and comforting those who mourn. As you plan for the future, ask yourself, will your later years be devoted to leisure, self-pleasure, and indulgence? Or will you use your strength, your wisdom, and resources to build God's kingdom? Let's not retire from righteousness. Let's bear fruit right through the oak years, when our roots are deepest and our fruit is the sweetest. The purpose of life is not to arrive safely at death, but to live fully for the glory of God until your very last breath. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like and subscribe, and please pass it along to a friend.